Well, hello, hello, hello. Okay. Gonna hold on just a second and just to make sure that everybody who needs to be here can be here. And if they can't be here, we're just gonna roll with it anyway. Mm. Hey. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So, before we get going too far, I just want to give a little bit of premise about what we're doing. So, when we think about creating a crochet business, there are many, many, many ways to go about doing that. Um, but none of them are going to work unless you have a solid business foundation. Now, that business foundation actually becomes your GPS for your entire business. It helps you make decisions. It keeps things solid. So, because crochet is such an individual craft, every crochet business is really as unique as the person that it owns it. It plays into the passions and the skills of the person building it. So, but there are still some things that every crochet business needs. Like I said, those are the solid foundation and really a clear direction of where you want to go. So the foundation of your business needs to be solid. Life happens, right? A lot. Life happens a lot. Economic fluctuations happen, and all of that will affect your business. Without a solid foundation, though, all the hard work that you put into it, it can come crumbling down like with the blink of an eye. We don't want that to happen. So, getting that foundation in place, making sure that it's solid, it takes determination and it takes forethought. So, you want to make sure that your business foundation is solid enough and strong enough to maintain your business, but also flexible enough to withstand economic fluctuations, pivots, inevitable pivots. Pivots are part of business, and also provide the basis for an expansion should you choose to expand. So, with your business foundation, honestly, you've got the heart and you've got the soul of your business. That's pretty much it. In a nutshell, business is the heart and soul. You are the heart, your customers are the soul. Without both of those, literally nothing's going to happen. You'll have no sales, you'll have no business. So, I kind of broke things down into both of those sections. I like to think of it as the heart and soul because it really is, especially when it's a passion business like crochet. It really is very much the heart and soul of your life. You put a lot of work into your products, into your designs, and you want to make sure that you are doing the absolute best for your customers. So, we first need to start with you. So when you're setting up your foundation, the first thing you need to focus on is your values. What are your values that your business is going to encompass? These can, like I said, vary from individual to individual, but is it sustainable products? Is it, my brain just glitched. Is it sustainable products or hi, Stephanie. I'm really glad you're here. Honestly, I was worried if you were going to come. So thank you for being here. I'm really excited. And thank you so much for subscribing. That makes me super happy. Um, do you have a business right now or are you just getting started? So, with your once you get your values all set up and you make a list of the things that you want your business to incorporate, like you want to be known for these values, whether it's, and a lot of people think values are religious, but really they're not. They're codes on which you live. So, what values do you want your business to actually come through and provide for your customers? Um, that leads right into, your goals. Like, what are your goals for your business? Is your business to generate a ton of money? Is your business to, um, is your the goal of your business to get more passive income? Is your there are so many different things. So identifying really what is it that you want this business to do for you? Um, Let me check and see. I'm trying to You are trying to build it. Alright, cool. Stephanie, have you done, like a business plan already? You wanna get a customer base. This thing is so weird. They've got the little heart that is beside. Okay. Alright, so today is really gonna help you out then, because getting a customer base is definitely important if you wanna make money from your crochet. So, I've got a I'm not real good at scripts, and I'm so nervous for today. But I wrote, like, bullet points of things that I wanna hit today. I'm having a hard time with Etsy myself, just trying to, get my little bird on there, so, yeah, definitely. What kind of products do you sell? You kinda got lucky because right now you are uno number 1. Number 1, number 1, and that's a good thing. Give you some individualized attention even. I like it. Oh, you do plushies? Okay. Do you do markets as well? Okay. All right. So, if I'm understanding correctly, and please tell me if I'm way off base, if I'm not really understanding, but you do like markets. Okay, farmers markets, but you also want to move and actually sell stuff online too, is that right? Okay. All right, cool. And you've tried Etsy and Etsy is not working for you. Is there a specific thing about Etsy that you don't like? Yeah. Yes. So, what I have found in my own personal experience is it is cheaper to have your products, your goods listed on your own website and sell directly from your website. Therein lies the problem. So, when you have your own website, not only do you have the cost of the website, but you are responsible for all of the market to get all of the people to your website. Back when this was all new, it was, pretty easy to find different websites, but there are so many now, you have to actually take people there. You have to lead them there, and it's getting increasingly more difficult to do that. Um, One of the things that I've looked into Shopify too. Shopify is it, per item sold is less than Etsy, but you have to pay for a subscription to Shopify in addition. So, like, honestly, cost is, yeah, it's getting outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. Now, I looked at you're not uploading videos right now, right? Do you design your own products? Okay, you're using patterns, but not your own patterns, right? So you can't sell your digital makes or your digital patterns, rather. Okay. Okay. So I would suggest, honestly, creating a business plan. Basically, that's what I'm going over today. I like to think of, when I think business plan, it seems over daunting and like completely confusing and unnecessary, right? Because I've always been raised that, um, a business plan is you only need that if you're going to be applying for funding, and that's not true at all. A business plan really is kind of like your GPS, right? So when, sorry, I forgot to turn on Do Not Disturb. There we go. Um, it's like a GPS. So I'm going over the heart and soul, and that's basically you and your customer. And all of that together will give you an overview of what you want to do, how you want to be perceived to your customers, who your customers even are, um, what kinds of things that they're interested in. And I am actually next week going to go into the avatar. I'm going to be posting some videos this week too, so stay up for those, um, here with the just in the membership, um, for the crochet entrepreneur. But the creating a client avatar, I think you hear a lot of people talking about, oh, I need to find a target audience or I need to pick a niche. And I don't honestly believe that. I think that's bull. So I like thinking of one specific person, because if you can solve a problem, and that's anytime you're selling something, you're solving a problem, even if it's something as simple as, I don't know what to give, little Susie for her birthday, or, my boyfriend and I just had an anniversary and I'd love to get him a little plushie, or something like that, right? You're solving a problem. So if you know what those problems are, then it's easier for you to solve. It's easier for you to create the messaging so that you can reach your customers because you know exactly who you're talking to. And I can definitely help you with that. Definitely help you with that. Today's kind of going to be like it's kind of like an overview. I wasn't really sure where you were sitting in your business, so I was just going to do an overview, and then I will be going into each thing, um, a little bit deeper. Okay. So once you get a pretty solid, idea about what your values are that you want your business to maintain, and the values can even go into the type of yarn that you use, the type of stuffing that you use, um, anything, how you want your customers to feel. Those are the types of values that I'm talking about. And then you wanna get your branding to go along with it. The branding, I think, needs to wait until after you identify your avatar. And like I said, I will go into the avatar much deeper next week when we talk, because I think it's literally the most critical aspect of any business, especially with a crochet business, because it's difficult It's already difficult to get the prices that we deserve for our products because there are so many that people that just give them away or sell them or only charge what the cost of like the materials and things like that. And that's not sustainable when it comes to a business. So knowing who your audience is really is pretty key. So once you've got your values, your branding, your goals, oh my goodness, your goals. So when I think about goals, think about what is it that you want this business to do for you? Like, how much money do you absolutely have to have? What kind of experience do you want your customer to have? For me, customer is absolutely, absolutely important. So I'm going to do everything that I can to make them feel as special as I possibly can because when somebody feels special, they're going to keep coming back. Do you know what I'm saying? That's part of my goals, right? Um, and then you get your niche, target market, avatar. Those are all they go a little bit deeper for the same thing. I just don't like the whole niche thing. It just that word just kind of it's like nails on a chalkboard, right? Because it's thrown around so much, but it doesn't really tell you exactly who you need to speak with. It doesn't make things clear enough. You can niche down too far, but if you talk to one specific person, it's like when you are and you'll probably hear me say this next week when I talk about the avatar, but have you ever been to a nightclub or a bar or whatever, right? And you're there with your friend and you're walking across and you're trying to get a hold of her because you want to go or whatever. When they're across the room, you can scream and yell, stand on top of the speakers, jump up and down and scream. If they even notice that you're there, they're probably just going to laugh at you. They can't hear what you're saying. It's too loud. It's too loud. And when you're online, it's exactly the same thing. You have to whisper to one person. That one person is going to be like, "Oh yeah." And human nature, everybody wants what everybody else has got. So if you can whisper, like you walk up to somebody in the club, you walk up right behind them, get right next to their ear and be like, "Hey, I'm ready to go get something to eat." And then everybody around you all of a sudden hears you. "Oh, I want to get something to eat too. Yeah, let's roll out." Right? So yeah, fun stuff. Fun stuff. So after you've got those all situated, and those have to come first, those four things: values, branding, goals, um, avatar. I'm not even going to deal with niche and target market. So now you understand if I skip that completely, it's because I focus on avatar. And then um, after you've got all that set, then you can identify different income opportunities. My daddy told me a long time ago, when I was growing up, because like I'm tired of being broke. And he said money is a lot like water. If you are running a bathtub and it's constantly filling up, you can drain it out. But if you've got more water coming in than you have going out, then you're good. You can only you only have one drain, right? You can only stop so many things. And especially when it comes to business, you can only reduce your costs so much. It takes money to run a business. So then I guess the focus becomes how many income streams can I add into this business because there's so many different things that you need to, plan for. Economic fluctuation is a big one. If you have multiple things that you're selling, multiple things that you're doing, to create these income streams, then if one of them falls off, the rest of them will carry you. Whereas if you only have one thing that you're making money on and it fails for a month, you're just screwed. Like you can't make up for it, right? So income opportunities is a big one. Um, researching your competition. I cannot talk about this enough. research your competition, not because you're competing with them. You don't want to do what somebody else is doing. You don't want to do that. But you want to identify what they're doing to see how you can set yourself apart, especially when it comes to crochet, because there are so many people who do it. I mean, I do little amigurumis. There are tons and tons of amigurumis. I create patterns. Tons of people are doing that. Like, there's a lot of competition, but there's only one me and there's only one you. So when you look at your competition and analyze what they're doing and identify certain things that you can either do to set yourself apart, that you can incorporate to set yourself apart, that's gonna help you make that money. That's gonna help your, um, avatar, your ideal client. It's gonna help them, choose you because you're going to be able to connect with them on that level that just sets you right up above everybody else. Oh yeah, okay, there's 2 Bs. Well, but I like her. I'm gonna get this B right here because I like what she stands for, or because I like the way she puts the little tag on it, or whatever it is that you choose to set yourself apart. Then we're gonna think about marketing strategies. How can you get in front of people? I'm gonna be honest with you. YouTube is a big one for me. It's a big one for me because I get to absolutely share my love and my obsession with crochet and reach hundreds of people, right? That's a blessing. That's a huge blessing. So there were things that I have to get over. I don't want to say I had to get over because it's still something that I'm working on. Being in front of camera, I was so freaking nervous right before I started this live, like I was almost sweating, um, because it's uncomfortable finding, different aspects, whether it's gonna be paid advertisements. There's nothing wrong with paying to advertise your goods. Absolutely nothing wrong with it, as long as you know what you're doing, and we can get into that too if you wanna learn more about the ads as well. Um, so your marketing strategies and then also your financial projections. Researching your competition also kind of plays into the financial projections. So you can, at first, when you're starting, you have to guesstimate, right? Scientists do it all the time. Why can't we? You have to guesstimate what it is that you want to be earning and then how it is that you're going to have it happen. So, for instance, I'm just throwing random numbers out there. If I want to create, if I want to create a profit of $2,000 a month, right? Enough to carry me. Then I need to figure out what it is that I'm selling, what products I'm selling. This goes back into the income streams. What it's going to take for me to, how many of those am I going to sell in order to reach this? How many of this? How many of this? How many of this? Um, in order to reach this, and then you have to consider all of your expenses too, because there are always always expenses, always expenses. Am I making sense to you? Because I feel like I'm kind of rambling. Okay. Do you have any questions at all of what I've gone over so far? Okay. No, you don't have any questions. Okay. All right. Want to make sure I cover everything. Hey, pardon me while I go through. Pardon me while I just make sure I hit everything. Ooh. All right. I think I did hit everything. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. So, of what we talked about today, Stephanie, I know we were talking about the avatar quite a bit because I can get on a soapbox about that. But between values, the branding, your company's goals, your avatar, um, researching your competition, income opportunities, additional income streams, marketing strategies, and financial projections, is there anything that you want to know more about? Like any of those topics that you yourself, right now where you're at in your business, that you want to kind of delve into and dig into a little bit further? Is the pricing. Okay. So for next week, would you rather do the avatar or would you rather do the pricing? Because right now it's all about you, girl. It's all about you. Pricing is tricky. Pricing is really tricky. Okay. All right. Well, then I will put it together and we will go dig in deep to the pricing aspect of it um, next week. We can definitely do that. I'll do a video on the avatar so we don't have to do this. And then we'll just kind of go that way. Yeah, I agree. It's either too, I don't know. And tell me if this is something that you have experienced yourself. Either you price it so low that it's not sustainable or so high that nobody wants to buy it. Am I right? Okay. Yeah, me too. Me too. Pricing has always been something that's really been kind of tricky. Um, and I've noticed, and that's with any business that I've either helped with or I've had my own self. It's either too low or too high. You're right. Um, so yeah, we'll definitely go into pricing because there's a lot of nuances to it. Um, to get a little happy medium that not only will fill your needs as the business owner, but also leave the customer feeling like they got a good deal. There are ways to do that, even if you can't lower the price. But yeah, we'll go into all of that next week, most definitely. Right. Alrighty. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me today. That makes me so happy. So very happy. I appreciate you being here. Do you have any other questions for me before we go? Okay. All right. Now you can use the community tab. We can communicate back and forth like that, or you can always email me. My email is on the about section. So you can always email me if you have any questions whatsoever. I am right here for you. Okay? All right. Well, we will see you next week. Bye now.